Now we're going to be adventuring into Act 3, a full walkthrough where I play the game. I don't skip anything in the game. We've completed Acts 1, 2 and we've just arrived in Act 3. So we've transitioned into minions, but we're still using our frostbolts, which we will be dropping in this act. The main thing in this act now is to get some lightning res. If we look at our res resistance, if you've been following the first two videos and you've been following along as best as you can, we've got our cold completely maxed out now, but this act 3 needs lightning resistance because we fight a boss in here called Piety. We fight this boss 2 times. The first encounter is very early on into the act, and we need to have our lightning res at least 50% for that encounter, and for the second encounter, the final encounter, we really need to be going towards full cap on Piety because her lightning is very strong. So we'll have a look what we have, where we can actually get a bit of lightning resistance on. Probably put it on here. Nope. And these gloves. Lightning resistance. Level 1. This is all what will be open to you if you're doing this as your first run through level 1. That's going to cost 1 alteration shard, so we do that. Lightning res 20%. And we're looking good, 55, 75 and 41. So we shall start this act now. Act 3. So the first part of the mission is to rescue Clara. I'm still doing a little bit of damage with my frostbolt, but the majority of my damage now is coming from the minions. This just acts as a crowd control, slows things down a little bit. Talk to this lady here, Clarissa. And we just make our way to town. We're level 24, which is about right for this level, one level above. And now we're going to retrieve the keys. There's nothing really dangerous here. Our minions are staying alive, so we need to start picking up a bit of health on our tree.
When I'm ready and not before.
There is another trial on this part of the map, what we're doing now. Again, if you're hardcore, I would skip this trial and come back to it when you're level 50 plus. That's when you go back to do your labyrinths when you post level 50. So this basically is the build until you get a 4-link, which can happen in the docks. You can start dropping your 4-links. So you're spamming your frostbolt, which does a little bit of damage,
You make persecution a way of life.
but it's more about the slow. I'm going to lock into that now. And this will start freezing all the mobs now. Or at least putting a chill on them. Let's get some to take more damage. Now, you can be full necro build, it's a lot faster if you have this extra chilling going on from the frostbolt. If you look at the monsters, kill it as soon as we can chill a pack, you will see they'll get a red, not a red, a sort of a bluey purplish turquoise circle around them, which tells you that they've been chilled by the frost. The frost bombs actually puts a chill on them. Here we are. See the blue? Bluish turquoise colour thing. That tells you that they've been chilled and they're going to take more damage. That's why we use this skill. It doesn't do a lot of damage to it, but it puts it on and it can do an occasional freeze like it's done there. It's frozen the mobs. It just makes life a lot easier for us. It's only as we're leveling we're using this. Put the chill on the mobs, and necros catch up, and the necros will kill them. If you're wondering why I'm not spending my skill points, I tend to save them up so I can see a boost in either power or survivability, just for the sake of the video, so you can say, oh well, that was worth going to that node at that particular time because that was a boost that he got from heading 5 or 6 points in that direction. Again, we get all of these essences. Cold damage and cold resistance with that one. We're looking out for the minion damage, and I just can't remember what it's called at the moment. Now this fight coming up is the first encounter with Pike, so I recommend you put a portal down because she's quite rippy.
There she is, my work.
When I'm ready, and not
Let's
before.
see if Rayclast has been good to you, witch.
The big ball that comes out is very rippy. It will stun lock you and then she'll hit you with her lightning. But I mean, we've got 50% lightning resistance anyway, so it's not too much of a problem. But you can see the minions are dying pretty instantly to her.
Harness your fear. Trust your talent, witch. Enough of this.
Let me take this bracelet back to town. hand it in to our friend Clarissa, and she will give us some keys to unlock the grate that we found before. I'm just going to quickly check this shield that I got because it may be good. It's not bad, it's the wrong colours. I'm going to put that in the stash and I'm going to come back and do some tinkering with that later. You might see my stash and might say, oh, it's got a lot of stuff in here. But I can't make a brand new Solar Cell Found because it's still going to have my currency from my other Solar Cell Found characters. But when I started doing this run with the Solar Cell Found, I throw away all of the currency, which was my Scrolls of Portal, Wisdom Scrolls. I also threw away all of these which I had. So everything else is there, but I'm not going to use any of it, and I'm not going to use any of these or orbs of alteration because I haven't found any. These are the ones that I found. They're in my stash. I've got 2 which I found, and you use these when I'm hovering over now for your resistance.
Victaria was a poet.
See, they've got the wrong colour, so even though they may be useful, if they've got the wrong colours on, even if they had movement speed, it wouldn't be worth taking them.
Stay out of the shadows. This
This helmet is definitely for when I get my spectres, so I shall find an empty one of these. Let's see what I can do. I'll have it there. And I'll name this to SFF. So know what I'm doing. I'll take this down here. I'll get the one from the currency one and put that in there as well. Yeah, so we're going for strength, health now. We need health. So we're going to take this note here. Quick recovery. It's a lot of mana boost, but you need a lot of mana in this build because you're going to be spamming out skeletons at the end of the build. And I will start heading down into this minion node here, which will get us a lot of defences to keep our minions alive. And then we'll go up here, get a bit of chaos resistance, and that should be Act 3 finished with 10 points. So now you've got your key, you have to go back and open that grate and then go in the underbelly of the city. This for me is quite a fun act. It's a nice place to level up and to spend, you know, 20 minutes just doing the same content again and again and again to get levels. It's one of the best parts in the game for me. I really enjoy it. Because from there we start actually dropping 4 links. Once we get a 4 link of the right colours, we get really strong, very fast. Just changing out my frost bomb there because I don't need my frost bomb anymore. We collect 3 busts from here, which gives us a skill point. So we're just going to go back and just double check that we haven't missed them. It's a different layout every time, so You have to manually collect that waypoint. If you don't, further on in the game, you have to run back through the server to get back to that point in the game. Most waypoints, in fact I think all waypoints apart from that waypoint, automatically unlock once you've entered the area where the waypoint is. I walk beside it, you don't have to physically go and click it. I think that might just still be a bug in the game. They're quite rippy, them side Val quests. That's why I'm not going in to collect that. Because we do need a Val Summon Skeleton eventually, but they're too rippy to be going into at the moment. Because although this is being played as a solo self-found character, I'm playing it as if I'm playing hardcore. So I'll be levelling up virtually the same as hardcore, except I've missed a couple of life nodes out at the beginning, which I will go back and refill. The red beasts, you want to be skipping them as you're leveling, because we're the same level as the area our character is, so that means a red beast is going to be extremely rippy. So if you're playing hardcore, you want to be jumping and skipping the red beasts. And from here, generally, well, there's where your other trial is in here, but we're not going to take that trial yet. We're going to come back to that later. But generally, from that waypoint, you head up and you get to the market, but it's not there now on this particular map, so we're going to have to run round the edge of the map looking for the exit to the docks. The yellow monsters are fine, you can take all that, and you need these because you need to make a blood flask to stop you bleeding by the end of this round.
You have been captured, beast. You will be a survivor, or you will.
Here we go, here's the exit here. The battlefront. Generally I come in here and I head to the left. And again, I just follow all the way around on the left. And I find this generally takes us to the waypoint. Not all of the time. It's a choice of either go to the left or you go to the right, isn't it? Make sure you get the waypoint. Now from here we're going to go to the docks. Just straight up from that waypoint. Now if I was playing the game normally without demonstrating for a new player how to play the game, I would get the artifact that I need from the docks and then leave the docks and continue on. But I'm going to demonstrate how you would level as a brand new player, because if you look at your level of your character, we're just level 26. We're under leveled here by 4 levels, 3 levels. Ideally you want to level up here till you're level 30 and then move on, and then it's going to be safe from when you move on. If I move on from here now, it's still going to be safe for me because I know how to dodge and use the mechanics of the game, but as a brand new player you really want to stay here till you're level 30. It's very fast for leveling. All of your power for your minions comes through gem levels anyway, so to get these nice and powerful so they can take on your enemies, you want to be leveling up here at 30. Unless you know the game and you can dodge and things like that, you know. As I say, there's nothing a matter with dying in the game. There's no penalties till high up, but I mean, let's not die. It's a lot more fun if you can see how far you can get with each new character without dying. That's what I used to do until I started playing hardcore, but now I actually prefer to play softcore, because hardcore is just extremely rippy. You're always going to lose a character. Doesn't matter how skillful you think you are, you're always going to lose a character. And sometimes it can just be, you know, somebody calls you from the kitchen, you have a brief lapse of concentration and you're dead, and you're going, oh, I've just wasted 8 hours on that character, or 12 in-game hours on the character. That's, you know, it's annoying. But if you keep using this freeze pulse, freezing frostbolt technique, what I do, you'll find the game very easy because the monsters are frozen half the time. I'm only doing this until we've got a real powerhouse of minions going, which is level 28, you know. Once we get the raised spectres and we put them on a defensive aura for our other characters, it's really fast. It's really good.
When I'm ready and not before.
That's the quest item that we need. And again, if you're playing this in hardcore, you always identify a strongbox. You never open a strongbox without identifying it. Things like this will get you killed, freezes you when active. We're a minion build, so it freezes you, not your minions, if you notice. So they're quite safe to open, but if you open a box which is, say, corpse explode, it'll kill you and kill all your minions. That's why you should never, if you're playing hardcore, never party with people you don't know. If you do, just assume they're going to open every box and get you killed, because it has happened. It's happened to me. I've been killed by having a member in a party open a box and just exploded and killed us. It's my own fault, because I hadn't been in hardcore very long, and it was only something like in an Act 5, so it wasn't the end of the world. So in here you hold the control down and you click where you want it to go and click new, and it'll bring a new instance. And just quickly, I'm just going to have a cigarette break here. In Path of Exile, there's no point racing, saying, oh, I've got to get the maps, I've got to get to the end game. There's no point, because if you haven't built your character correctly and you haven't got all of your resistances, if it's the first week of a trade league or solo self-found or hardcore trade or hardcore solo self-found, it's always the same with them. You've got nothing, nobody's got anything. People are going to have to get the maps before you. They're going to have to find stuff which isn't as good as the stuff they're wearing to put onto the market. So what I'm trying to say is everything's going to be super expensive on the market. It's crazy priced. So you might as well take your time, be slower than the racers and the people who know the game, but at least when you hit maps, you're fully res capped, you've got a good life pool, and you can kill things in the map without getting killed as soon as you walk into maps. It's just going to make the transition into the game a lot easier because you've learnt the basics. Granted, very slowly. If you followed me, my videos aren't the fastest. I like to explain things in depth as I'm going along and playing the game, and some people might like this way of learning a game and some people might prefer to have a quick 10-minute recap, but you miss so much in these fast videos where they say, here's Act 1, and it's a 5-minute synopsis of what you should be doing. If you're brand new, you don't know, well, how do I craft that, what's an alteration shot, etc. You see everything in this game the way that I do it, but I mean, I'm leveling this extremely slow, to be fair. But I think this is the kind of pace that a new player would be using as they're leveling anyway. And there's always a skip button. You can skip ahead if you're watching this on YouTube. You can just skip ahead a little bit. Oh, I want to see what the next part of the thing is. That's where I'm having problems. At the gardens, do I go to the library? Do I not go to the library? Things like that. So I'm just going to smoke a cigarette before I continue, because it is quite rippy in there. So with these 2 points, I'm going to go into the minion nodes here. I'm going to get my minions a little bit more life, and then we'll continue up to here. Minions get 12% extra life. Up to here, more life. Keep them alive. Attack and cast speed. And we'll take this more attack and cast speed. We'll go up here, and we'll get this little bit of chaos resistance, and then we'll continue down the path down here. You always want minion life, minion resistance, and just keep your minions alive. If you notice the zombies, I haven't had to raise them since I've hit Act 3. They've survived, they don't die now. Skeletons always die because they have a timer where they expire anyway, where they go, I think it's 36 seconds, let's have a look. Minions last 20 seconds because they're not very high level. They've got 23% elemental resistance. They don't do a lot of damage. I'm not doing a lot of damage at the moment, but it's enough though. It's just when they gain the power, they get around the pack, they just smash the pack, and it's just amazing. But yeah. So that's the minions at the moment. Slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. I can imagine if there were such a thing as a necromancer in real life, that's how a necromancer kill his prey, he'd raise a huge army of minions, and they would slowly attack and leech the life out of you. I've actually lost one of my zombies, two of my zombies there. So minions is just keeping your minions alive, just looking in the top, this part of the screen up here, and just checking that you've got them all alive, because you can't see them on screen once things get busy. You keep hold of that, just drop that down anytime you feel a bit of pressure, and it keeps them alive, stops them getting killed. And you've got to think, this is 3 levels above the level of what the character is. I'm not having to do a lot of dodging. I'm just basically having to stand behind my minions as they kill, but they're killing slow because they're under leveled by 3 levels to this area. That's why we stay here till level 30. And also in Mayhem, this is going to be very, very rippy, because there's going to be lots of random monsters just popping up, really powerful monsters as well. You're going to have to check when you enter each area what is the mayhem of that map. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of currency to be made. Unfortunately, it's a void league, so we lose everything, but we'll make some crazy, crazy currency in that league.
And not before.
And again, I'm saving these points here only for the benefit of the stream, so that you can say, oh, pathing in that direction was worth it. I've seen a massive increase in DPS or HP. That's the only reason I'm not spending them. Like other guys are saying, they'll spend them straight away. You see them popping open the screen as they're running along and you're spending the points. But you never really see a power gain. Whereas this, you can see the power gain. It's probably a bad idea to play like this. But I mean, this is just softcore. This is softcore solo self-found, but it will be deathless as we get to the end of the game. That's my intention anyway. There's a boss which comes up on here called, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, Gratificus, I believe. Now he's very, very strong, fire, and we do not have a lot of fire damage, so we're going to have to fix the fire damage before we encounter that boss. Lightning damage, we were fine at 50% for the first meeting with Piety. But this level 28 boss is the one who gives us our Raise Spectre. And once we get our Raise Spectre, we get a massive jump in power for our minions. I think I've touched something today when I went down the hallway to pick up the mail. And I might have walked through a bit of a spider web or something. I don't know. Whoa! Did you see that? Wow. That was scary. So now we're level 29. I'll continue on, I'll get one more level just to show how a new player should be doing this. I'm just going to spend these 3 points. So we're needing life, but we also need life for the minions because the minions are dying very quickly. Take that one there. Life. Now we should see the minions not dying at all now. I'm going to put that in there to level up because I will be needing it later on. At level 29 we should start seeing 4 links dropping now. I'm going to take this Herald of Thunder. I'm going to equip that just as a small boost to our lightning damage, because we do have lightning damage on 2 of our minions. This is what I mean on watching a video on how to play as a brand new player solo self-found. You just take whatever you can find. If you think it's going to add a little bit of power to your build, as long as it's not breaking the core, which I've set up, which is the 2 minions doing the damage, add anything you think will have some value to your build. And 1 Herald's not going to eat away at the mana pool, because I've got quite a good mana pool. I also have 2 mana pots, so you could add that. You could probably add Herald of Cold as well if you found one of them. You can buy one from town. Herald of Ice, I should say. It's a good idea when you go into these essence packs to kill the mobs around it, because the essence boss which pops out, or minion, whichever he is, they're quite tanky and they do quite a lot of damage. So this is a Fear, and this is the one that I've been looking for. This upgrades me minion damage, so my next thing I'll do, and there's a 4 socket as well. It's not linked, but it's a 4 socket, so it's a step in the right direction. When we get to the next act, the 4 links drop like crazy. It's very quick at the lake to fully gear up into 3-4 links. The Herald at this level doesn't do a lot of damage, it just makes a lot of noise on the screen, to be honest, but it's a lot of noise. It might get you that culling strike, you know, that final kill.
When I'm ready, and not before.
If you're very new, which obviously this video is aimed at, you could actually do this till, you know, level 32, 33,
Destiny is seen to that.
just to feel that extra bit of safety. But, you know, it's a level 29 area, I'm level 30 now, so we're going to go to town, we're going to fix some of our gear, and then progress in the game.
Beatles poet guide us.
Bring me back something nice, huh?
Tolman's dead then.
This is the skill we want, Convocation, 100%, but we want to also go to Clarissa and we want to buy this gem, which is called Purchase Item. It's Purity of Elements. This is really needed if you have the mana to sustain it. It gives you, at level 1, it gives you 13 to all elemental resistance. It's an aura, but if we look at it again, it reserves 35% of your mana, so the last thing you want to be doing as a necromancer is running out of mana to cast your spells. But this is the time where we would take off the Herald of Thunder, because it doesn't do anything. And we'd put the Purity in. Did we equip the Convocation? No. So the Frostbomb, we take that out of the build now, we don't need that. And we put the Convocation in, and I put this on the Q button. Now what this does is when you run around,
Be careful.
I'll show you and I'll go to a safe place and I'll do it. So you've got all your zombies out and your skeletons and you're running ahead of them and you press your Q button and they're right behind you, so they're straight onto the packs. Increases your clear speed tremendously. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. That's a nice shield. That. So I'm going to make this into a 3-link and link them up, and that will replace that one. It's all about building your life and your resistance. You need to be as close to res cap as you can. So at the moment we're looking pretty good on the resistance front, 64, 75, 55, but we can use the skill what we got before, which is this one called Purity of Elements, and we put that aura on and now we're 75, 75, 68, so we're lacking a little bit of lightning resistance, which isn't the problem because the final fight is more, well, the next fight coming up is more, it's all fire resistance, which is great, but we just need to fix this lightning because the end fight here has a lot, and I mean a lot of lightning damage. So let's see if there's anything we can fix here. We're over on our cold resistance by quite a lot, but the belt doesn't have anything on, so on the belt we'll get this lightning resistance. Lightning, take the bottom one, craft that, and we're fully capped. I can't stress enough how much you have to be fully capped, and you have to keep checking your caps every, well, this video will explain where to check your caps, but you have to have them capped all the time. If you don't, you're just going to die, and it's just going to feel bad if you play a game and you die. We've also got a nicer life flask here. I want to wait till I get a slightly better flask to make that an anti-bleed flask. This is going to get uploaded onto YouTube, but this is going to be quite a long video, this one. I've made 2 videos today on leveling this. I just need to, just take it a bit slower. And I'm putting these videos up completely raw, so that people can see what it is like as a new player experience, how long it's going to take, etc. And then my next series of videos is possibly going to be how to speedrun, and I'll do a full speedrun. We can get this all done in under 5 hours from 0 to maps. And new players, it might take a day, it might take 2 days to get the maps. As I say, the game's not a rush. There's no point rushing to get the maps unless your character's completely prepared to get the maps and it's not going to die as soon as you walk into the maps, you know. Each act up until Act 6 is probably going to take you an hour to get through, and then the last 3 maps is you can just speed through them. But you'll want to be getting a 6 link or a 5 link before you really head into maps. But the beauty of this build, what I'm building here, on a 4 link, on everything 4 link on this, it'll take you up to high level yellow maps before you have to get a 6 link. And then you only need a 5 link to complete the whole game. So, really good. OP as they call it. So we got this as our drop, and this is going to give us, not that one, where is it? This is the boy. We got this is going to give us some power to our minions. So we need to either wipe this wand or get ourselves another wand, which we'll do now by going to town. We'll talk to Clarissa. We'll find one which has got links in. Here's one with links in. It'll do, it's the best I can see. And then we'll pop this on it. And now I've got 23 extra minion damage. All of the rest of the stats in here mean absolutely nothing for our build. Critical doesn't matter for our build. Spell damage doesn't matter for our build. It has a nice side effect because we're using the frost bolts, but they're not our damage. We're using them basically to do a little bit of freeze while we're looking for a 4 link to get the power into our minions. So as I keep saying in this guide, this is purely for new players who've never played the game before, and I'm just making it the easiest way possible to break somebody into the game. And everything what I'm finding here is not what I would say. It's not necessarily what I would do when I'm leveling a character which I know how to play, how to dodge, and the boss mechanics. This is for people who've never played before and they don't know the boss mechanics or anything.
Good luck to you.
Hello.
These heist contracts, you can't get rid of them, you have to stay in your stash, or you can drop them. You can go to one of the NPCs and drop them in their areas. When I say NPCs in their areas, you can go to your mines, for example, or your menagerie, and you can drop them there. You can use them as an alternative to an alk. These are alks. These will make a thing yellow grade. You can use one of them to make it yellow grade. If you pick up a junk item, like I think that helmet is, but I've put resistance on there, so I can't use it now. Let's see if I can get some decent boots, hopefully.
Mate.
They're not bad boots, to have a link.
Don't do anything I would.
The minions aren't dying, so I'm going to come down here to get a little bit of extra life. For myself, not for the minions, for me. And what happened there? Got a game crash. So now we're going to go to the right and find piety.
I'd love to see the insides of this spell. I can't abide housework.
And from here, the minions will do the full carry from here.
Life is too precious to waste on you.
Tips for this area, just follow the carpet. You know you're going in the right direction if you're following the carpet. Still a little bit buggy, you still get some dead ends, but as a general rule, just follow the carpet. Now, that drop noise was a drop of a 4, there we go, That's what I've been looking for. Right colours as well, fantastic. So I'm just going to get safe in this corner and take the time to see what I can do with that. I want my skeletons in here. I just got to check my resistances when you change it. Whenever you change an item, check your resistances. 64, that's okay, 64. I'll fix that in a second when I go back to my hideout. Now the skeletons will be doing the majority of the damage now.
I need more mana. When I'm ready, and not before.
Just double check that you haven't skipped past the reward offer. Take the dexterity one, because you do need dexterity on an amulet on this build, and sometimes you get really lucky with these. That's a pile of shite, but sometimes you can't get lucky with them. You come to the sewers. Take the waypoint above here. Get your little army up. If you notice, the frostbolt isn't doing any damage at all now. It's just there to chill at enemies. skeletons are quite capable of smashing everything down. This is a very dangerous boss if you're playing on hardcore. Very dangerous even at this level.
Fire and flame, horror nightmare.
So make sure you keep recasting your skeletons
I need more mana.
and you keep out of his fire, because his fire is very, very powerful to you.
I fought for God. Who do you fight for, exile?
And if you notice when I'm fighting them, I go back to town now because I've got my spectres. When I'm fighting them, I'm keeping as much distance away from him as what I can, because his fire, once he drops his fire on you, you're dead. No exaggeration at all. If he drops his fire on you, you die there. So I got my spectres. There we are. Spectre.
Talakora.
Now, I need to get minion life because the minions are just going to die. The spectres will. So go and get some minion life gem. We're going to raise a couple of spectres. They're not going to do any damage there to give us a boost to our other minions. So minion.
Farewell.
Must be further into the ass. I could have sworn it was Act 1 where you got your minion life. Maybe Act 2.
I am not surprised.
There you go. Minion life support. And you put that in with your spectres.
Be well.
And when we come here, we raise these spectres, which is what we need. Our desecrate. Raise spectres. Put your desecrate on the ground. Press A. And you're looking for a host chieftain. Carnage chieftain. And now the host chieftain. Change these skills out because you'll always make the same mistake as what I do in desummoning your spectres. Now back to Act 3 to take our portal back to where we left it. And now we've got frenzy charges. Gives us more damage and attack and cast speed. Nice, I think that's an all-res belt, that. That makes a huge difference to the clear speed. Absolutely huge difference. And we just keep them spectres as them until we get to either Act 5. We can pick up the slave drivers, which are quite a good interim spectres. But I prefer a ranged spectre for safety. But I'll go through both spectres, as this is a very basic early on guy for somebody who likes to be a necromancer. This boss is very rippy. If he pulls you in, he's going to do a lot of damage to you, so just try to get past him. Even though you've got your little army there, you can. He's very rippy. I mean, we've only got under 700 life, which is very, very low.
You either master nightmare, or it masters you.
You can take any spectres you like. I prefer the chieftains because they give the bonus to all of my minions. But in here, this is a good one to take. They're very good, very fast attack. They don't help at all against bosses, but for clear speed, they're really good. But Piety is quite a hard boss, very hard boss actually. If you're new to the game. So I'd recommend going the Spectres of them because it's going to tank up all of your Spectres, not just have two fast clear Spectres. Of course, if you're playing softcore, it doesn't matter, you can choose any Spectres you like, but this is the most efficient one for you to be deathless.
Not before.
safest way to do this is to just keep your bank of skeletons at 8, and as soon as you hit a pack, just press your Q button or your convocation button and just get them all by your side. Especially in here, because they're acting as a meat shield, they're more likely to get hit than you. Again, the only thing really that's going to get you killed when you play Necro is if you're just running about and not looking at the game, which is fair enough, it's a good way to play the game. But as long as you're looking about and you're keeping your minions stack up at 8 at all times, you're not going to die. Now this is another boss fight coming up here, Piety. Now I'm going to put a portal up here when I get to it, and I'm just going to double check that I've got all my reses in order, I've got everything correct, because it is quite a rippy boss. She has a lot of power in her phases, so we'll just do that at town. Yeah, I can't use that yet. I knew it was good, but... So there's two things what we want to do here. We need an anti-bleed flask, which I'm going to make now. I'm going to my menagerie. I'll show you how to make this. You don't have to make a bleed flask till you get to this point in the game, so halfway through Act 3. You put that in there. And bleeding in this game is staunching. That's what bleeds you. Staunching. So just double check, because it's a level 20 fight, so you're not going to die from it. But just get ready, and get ready with your dodge, so you can dodge out of there when they hit you, because it can hit you quite hard. Lol. That was bad. That was bad. It's not the end of the world because I'm playing solo self-farm. But if that was hardcore, that would have set me back 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So I need to get staunching. And I need to knock that blood out again.
To the first ones, you are worthy, exile.
What the hell's happening here? This isn't opening the right ones. This is opening really high levels. I think yeah. Okay, I'll tell you what's happened here. Rare any creatures, and they're not using the low level creatures. So there you go. I'm getting like level 56 creatures. That was a bad mistake, but that's something to look out for. I would have fallen for that if I was doing this in hardcore as my second character. That would have just got me instantly killed. That's something completely new to me in the game as well. That's amazing. So here's me thinking I'm going in to kill creatures of level 20, and it's used a level 56 creature, which obviously at level 30 I've got no chance of killing at all. That's bad because that means I can't get my staunching. So the other way to get my staunching flask is to do it the old-fashioned way. There we are. That's the flask what you need. Immediately bleeding. Wow. I can't believe that. If I'd been playing hardcore I would have been devastated there. I would have been devastated. I think they need to address that in the game because that's just wrong. It shouldn't use a monster beyond your level. That's a bug in the game, that. I'm going to have to be right back. I'm going to have to take a quick... I'm seeing... so I'm not sure.